501c3. And this restricted fund can be created by the vote of the board of trustees or board of directors to say that any money which is raised as an endowment will be restricted, while the principal will never be used, and any profit from that will be decided by the board to use for certain activities, unless that endowment has been already named for a specific purpose. The other form, which is also very useful, is that you can create a sporting organization. Why I suggest a sporting organization? From my experience, this is just my suggestion, and that is that the sporting organization works hand in hand with 501c3. 501c3 has a full control on the sporting organization. It can appoint the board of directors for the sporting organization, and also by law, all the income which sporting organization will generate, it is for the benefit of the sported organization, which is the 501c3, the most community centers which they are. I would suggest that you can elect 3 to 5 qualified trustees, then identify special donors, approach them for funding the endowment, then establish special account, appoint an accountant, solicit funds, and we need to watch for the rules. Many of us, we sometimes overlook fundraising rules. When we're raising funds for any activity, as long if it's religious, there are some waivers. But if it's not a religious fundraising for a mosque or a church, then we need to register with the state. And we need to file with the state that we are going to raise funds in this state. Then if you are going to send out mailers to the neighboring states, then you need to file into those states as well. So please keep in mind that fundraising is not that easy. It requires that we just notify and file certain documents with the tax return or with the appropriate state authorities. And then, of course, it's commonly understood you hold periodic meetings and give reports. In an endowment, my suggestion is that regular reporting to the donors is very useful, because then they know exactly how much money is collected, where it's invested, and how much profit has been generated, which has been utilized to help the community for the purposes it was established. Now, kinds of contributions you can solicit would be zakah, which all of us we know. I usually call it a unique pillar of Islam. Why call it unique? Although it's a third pillar, but it is one of the pillar. To me, means that we have to reach out and touch someone. It is something that we cannot fulfill it by ourselves. We can make shahada, we can pray, we can fast, we can go for Hajj. But this is something that somebody else is going to be touched with it. We cannot pay zakat to ourselves and we say, well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows we are done here. So, and that requires certain involvement in the community to know the condition of the people so we can help them. And I'll give you an example that, let's say one of the category of zakah is to relieve people from debt. How I'm going to find out that any of my brother in the community or a sister is in debt? Am I expecting them to come to the masjid or come to a party and say, look, I have $17,000 credit card debt, please help me to pay it off? No. So this means we have to be involved in the community. We have to have intimate relationship with the people or with the community members to know what their condition is. Like when many of our Kuwaiti brothers were displaced, they were in Saudi Arabia. There were millionaires in their homes, but in Saudi Arabia they were homeless. So here the other category of zakah was used to help those people. The next contribution we can ask for is hibba, hadiya or sadaqah, which is simply gifts. And then the most common one many people use is wasiya, is through the bequest, through our wills. Now, most non-profit organizations, they raise funds in different methods. So here I'm just suggesting 3, which is annual giving programs, usually during Ramadan or close to end of the year. In December, we raise funds because many people want to get tax deductibility. And then if there is a need, a specific need, we raise funds and our community responds. And then is through estate planning. Estate planning is very crucial for many of our professionals because of the estate tax and many of the issues which are involved in it, and that could be topic of another discussion at some point. Now, I'm suggesting who are the donors which you should approach in terms of raising money for endowments. I realize that most of the Islamic centers all have needs for the operation, for paying salaries and others. So I'm suggesting that we approach people of my age, 60 plus, and we simply, at that age, their children are out of school. The children may not have needs which we need to fulfill as parents. And this age group will have some savings, and they are willing to create something which will be left behind, more like a sadqa jariyah. The only concern people of my age would be retirement and how much money we need for the retirement and what's going to happen if there's a health issue and so on and so forth, which is very understandable. So one needs to have some reserve for retirement, and the rest, in my opinion, should be given to causes which you like. And I'm not going to tell you what causes you should contribute. This will be up to each one of you. Now, next will be the presentation of the project. When we approach these donors, we need to be able to present a project for which we are raising funds, which will be an endowment to fund that project. It should be a well-written project, as we all know. We need to be able to make presentation that this project is going to make a difference. If it is for social work, for orphanage, if it is for the school, you can talk about the quality of the students, quality of the school, how it is going to change. And there are, these people, you want to make an appeal to them that so many other people are contributing. This is your opportunity to join with the others which you know and respect and trust. And it is offering an opportunity to change the status quo. Endowment will create a perpetual charity which will be a sadqa jariyah. So to the donors, we are going to basically make a presentation that this endowment is for this purpose and how it is going to make a difference. The next is for a community center, what is our operating budget? So I took as an example a small size community center, and I say, let's say the salaries are close to 250,000. Office, accounting, legal is 50. Utilities, security, cleaning is 75,000. Religious and cultural activities are 90,000. So that adds up to close to about 465,000. Now, we can approach people to say that if you would like to provide permanency, so whenever we come for Jummah, the mosque is clean, we have an imam, we have people who take care of the facility, the microphone is working, all those things happening, then contribute towards an endowment which will pay for the salaries of these individuals. If you want us to pay for the utilities, here is a small endowment or sub-endowment. You can contribute, so when you come to the masjid, the lights are on, air conditioning is working, and we have no unpaid bills. On the other hand, if somebody wants to sponsor a certain religious activity, we can ask them that if you contribute X dollars,